Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. Optus customers around Australia are coming back online after a major outage. For 9 hours, banking, business, contacting emergency services and simply talking to loved ones was next to impossible. The embattled service provider is now under fire once again.
10 million Aussies rose to a modern-day nightmare. No mobile coverage.
This has been a frustrating morning for Optus customers right around Australia.
We have never seen a telecommunications outage quite like this.
An outage striking the Optus network at 4:05 a.m, plunging parts of the nation into a tech blackout.
It has wide ramifications across mobile, fixed and broadband services.
Hobart's Optus store boasts its world-class network. Frustrated customers paid a visit today.
In morning I wake up, doesn't work the network, I'm shocking, that's why I come.
We're in Signet and we're on holidays. So we came up here to get it fixed and found out that it's all out.
Today we have to travel to South Australia, so travelling becomes a little bit tough.
No Tasmanian government services were impacted, but 000 was, with Optus landlines unable to dial in. Major banks affected too. CommBank's call centre offline. So too the RACT, urging customers away from its roadside service number. Interstate, there was chaos. Dozens of Melbourne hospitals offline. Train services halted, leaving commuters late.
It's not a first time. What can you do?
I've been trying to call my supervisors, but the number is not going through.
In Sydney, businesses bore the brunt of the blackout.
Yeah, we've had to just resort to cash payments. A lot of clients we've had to send to the bank to pull out money.
We had no connection at all to take payments from our customers.
By mid-morning, an apologetic CEO still couldn't name a cause, but ruled one out.
There is no indication that there's anything to do with cyber.
It is vital for Optus to be transparent and timely in the updates that it is giving to its customers.
Services began to return at 1 p.m, but with a warning that some customers may be waiting hours. The outage and PR disaster is another hit to the Singapore-owned carrier's credibility, and it comes just 12 months after a cyber incident that saw the personal information of current and former customers accessed.
We really exist to give great service to our customers, and we're very sorry that we let people down today.
Still tight-lipped about what went wrong.
But what was that technical issue?
Today was about restoring service, and all of the root cause analysis will follow.
She's deemed this a rare occurrence. It's one with great consequence. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
The daughter of a woman who died while ramped at Launceston General Hospital for 8 hours says she's lost faith in the state's health system. Telling the ambulance ramping inquiry, the initial explanation given to her by the hospital seemed too simple to be true.
Anne Pedler arrived via ambulance at Launceston General Hospital last year just before 1 o'clock on a Saturday morning with shortness of breath. By 8:30, having never been transferred to a hospital bed, she was dead.
She never was admitted as a patient. She was ramped that entire time.
Anne was never administered a clot-busting drug which could have potentially saved her life because staff wanted to wait for a scan to confirm the diagnosis. That scan was never performed because Launceston's radiology department wasn't staffed after hours. It still isn't.
We're still in the same place that we were 15 months ago when my mum passed away because they didn't have the staff on site.
A scathing coronial report into Anne's death said that issues like this will continue to occur unless broader issues with emergency department resourcing are fixed. Stella fears that warning is falling on deaf ears.
It keeps me up at night that I've gone through all these meetings and I've read all these horrible reports, and history would tell us that that is exactly what's going to happen, absolutely nothing.
While the major hospitals are bursting at the seam, the Rural Doctors Association says under-resourced regional hospitals sit half empty.
We have a whole hospital worth of rural health beds in rural and remote Tasmania across 13 communities. Unfortunately, we've seen a continued degradation in these hospitals with a shrinking workforce, reduced service capabilities.
It means transferring patients to the city for urgent care.
Patients just say, I really don't want to. I really don't want to go to Launceston. I'm going to be waiting for hours. I'm not going to get any of these tests. If you're transferring someone overnight, they're not going to get the tests because there's no on-site pathology or imaging.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
The Macquarie Point Stadium proposal has cleared a major hurdle and will now be assessed by the Tasmanian Planning Commission. An order declaring it a project of state significance passed the Upper House today. The order was approved 9-4, with the government, Labor and Independents Tanya Rattray and Dean Harris voting in favour. The battle of words over fire service funding has continued, with stakeholders calling for reforms to be scrapped. The Property Council, Farmers and Graziers Association and Local Government Association are among groups uniting against the proposals, speaking out ahead of a forum today. The change would remove the fire insurance levy and increase the property levy, which the government calls simpler and fairer.
I think about the average for farmers will be between 300% and 400% increase. That's totally unacceptable.
We're still in the consultation phase and absolutely keen to engage with all stakeholders.
Fire Minister Felix Ellis says input today at the forum was frank and fearless, which is exactly what he wanted. Hobart has emerged as a nation's capital for MDMA, nicotine and cannabis use, according to a new report. 5 Tasmanian waste treatment plants were analysed as part of the latest nationwide snapshot by the Australian Criminal Intelligence Commission. The results from tests taken between April and June this year also showed high amounts of oxycodone and fentanyl in Tasmanian samples. Nationally, meth and cocaine consumption have increased to their highest levels since 2020. The Premier has defended slow progress on proposed electoral donation laws. The bill, which would set a disclosure threshold of $5,000, was passed by the lower house nearly a year ago. It's been prioritised last for debate in the Legislative Council today, with accusations of time wasting.
The bill moved by the Treasurer in the lower house. The Treasurer himself spoke for 6 minutes when he moved that bill in the lower house, and yet we had 3 government members speaking on that.
We've got Parliament sitting, of course, this week at the Upper House and further weeks. We'll get it done. We're committed to it.
Labor claims it's still committed to toughening donations laws, despite abandoning plans to amend this bill. Tasmania's real estate industry has suffered another drop in house sales, the median price also falling by thousands of dollars. While rental stock has grown, agents are encouraging first home buyers now might be the time to enter the buyer's market.
Our real estate industry, one of many to feel the effects of interest rate rises and cost of living pressures.
You know, our market hasn't slumped to any great extent. I think it's a natural progression from the highs of 2 or 3 years ago.
The market slowing down slightly, according to the September quarterly report by the Real Estate Institute of Tasmania, with over 2,100 sales statewide, dropping by 268 compared to June.
Yes, the numbers are down. The volume of dollar value is pretty healthy still. We're on track for $4+ billion worth of sales this year.
In Hobart, the number of house sales rose to 452 compared to last year. Launceston's dropping in the same time frame. Hobart continues to lead as the most expensive place to buy, followed by Launceston, the northwest the cheapest. There are more rentals on offer despite many still feeling the financial sting.
We know we're in a housing crisis, so the more we see rentals come on the market, the more supply, the better news it is for Tasmanians.
The report suggesting low investor activity is a cause for concern, while mainlander interest has increased for some.
But we're definitely seeing an increase, and believe it or not, it's probably driven by climate.
188 properties sold for over $1 million during the September quarter, down 51 on June's results. Sandy Bay, 7 Mile Beach and Tranmere, some of the most expensive suburbs to buy in. For those still looking to join the First Home Buyers Club,
probably look for the worst house in the best street. If you can't afford a really nice home, don't be afraid to buy something a little lesser grade and spend some money and time and just build the equity in the property over time.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmanian News.
$300,000 is helping 2 mobile dental buses reach more parts of our state, including the West Coast, Huon Valley and Central Highlands. The Royal Flying Doctor Service says the funding has come at a crucial time and will eliminate the distance barrier.
There has been a significant increase accessing the dental services both in the fixed facility and through our mobile services.
The dentist will also provide preventative tips to help adults and children maintain better oral health. Tasmania is a focus of the global renewables industry this week, hosting the World Wind Energy Conference at West Point. Washington Governor Jay Inslee was recognised, having pioneered renewables in his home state in the past 15 years.
I was a believer in wind in 2006. I'm even more a believer of it now.
It's 18 years since the event was last held in Australia. After 4 days of discussions and networking, the Ferry conference has wrapped up in Hobart, with delegates taking a tour of Incat's dockyard. Hundreds of people getting a look at the company's latest project, an electric-powered ferry destined for South America. Despite hosting many of its competitors, Incat's founder says they're happy to engage and show others what they're building.
And having the opportunity to have over 300 people here today looking at our works, it's something fantastic, and it's good all round.
Whether it's the operators that operate the vessels or the shipbuilders, everybody shares for the betterment of the industry.
The conference concluding with a traditional Australian barbecue. Speaking of good hospitality, Southern Tasmania's tourism sector has opened its doors to show what's going on inside the multi-billion-dollar industry. More than 70 local businesses taking part in a special event, also helping young people learn about careers available.
They weren't playing for cheap stations, but the old wool store was doing more than having fun. The hotel, one of many looking to shepherd people into a life in tourism and hospitality.
It's been really awesome, just like seeing what's open for like our age specifically. I didn't realise that I could become a zookeeper or anything to do with that.
The hotel, one of dozens on show at the Southern Tasmania Tourism Showcase. From massages to mountain and river adventures, 6 southern regions were represented. The event aimed at connecting businesses and potential employees.
We've got some of the best products in the world. We need to put that in front of the workforce and attract them into this industry. Should be an easy sell.
Coming days after the industry learned flights to New Zealand will pause in April. Experts say Tasmania needs to keep growing our brand.
People are seeing Tasmania as a great year-round destination, and that's what we try and get across in our campaigns.
Students from dozens of local schools also joining in, discovering the careers available.
People that started working behind a bar or started washing dishes in a kitchen and are now running a hotel or are now running their own farm, or they're doing something cool.
I entered the tourism and hospitality industry not really knowing what I wanted to do for the future, and it took me all around the world.
That lure already getting a few bites from the next generation.
I thought I wanted to join the Air Force originally, but now I think my tables have turned a bit. My parents had an industry through hospitality and also tourism. It's definitely something I could be interested in.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
A new network will aim to ensure no more women are iced out of jobs in the polar industry. The Antarctic Women's Network Talk Series was launched today, and we'll hear from those working in the field.
I think we're finding that throughout the workforce that promoting women will take perhaps one extra step to say, have you considered applying for this? Have you considered going to Antarctica?
The Antarctic sector brings in $183 million to the state's economy, with nearly 1,000 full-time equivalent jobs.
It's a draw in the Sheffield Shield, a lifeless pitch blamed for the Tigers' stalemate with Victoria. Tasmania pulling ahead by 260 runs this afternoon as the clock ran out before the hosts had a second chance to bat. The skipper, though, finding hope in young gun Mitch Owen's 3-wicket haul yesterday.
He's only 4 games into his Shield career, and I think with both our young all-rounders, him and Brad Hope have now shown us that they can do it at this level. And I was really pleased with him with the ball, probably most. I think he showed really good control and discipline.
They play Victoria again on Saturday in the One-Day Marsh Cup. The Hurricanes know they need to be brave if they want to make the WBBL finals. The squad flying out this morning for their Sydney swing against the Thunder and Sixers. After last week's loss to the Heat, the Canes' finals hopes are on the line against 2 of the competition's premier teams. Confident their best is good enough if they can summon it.
We need to get the momentum on our side and obviously just play the brave cricket that we know we want to play, and that's obviously our brand as well that we want to play. So just for us to go out there and portray that skill out in the middle.
The Hurricanes play the Thunder tomorrow afternoon, followed by the Sixers on Friday night. One of Launceston's key players from last season is making a move to South Australia. Sandford club Norwood confirming Ben Simpson will play for them in 2024. He joins the Redlegs off the back of a strong year, finishing runner-up in the Alistair Lynch medal. The 23-year-old also putting in a strong showing at the grand final and the state game against Queensland. This is just a taste of what the next 4 days have in store for contestants in the Tour of Tasmania. Legs have been pumping this evening in the prologue event up Launceston's Burke Street, which punishes riders with a 15% gradient. Stage 1 starts tomorrow from Georgetown to Cayena.
Good evening. A warm day with increasing low-level cloud thunderstorms developed about parts of the island, with more than 3,000 lightning strikes hitting the state today. Hobart 23, Launceston 27, Devonport 21, Burnie 20 degrees. Bushy Park shared the state's top with 27, Flinders Island and Luncheon Hill both 25, Strawn and Friendly Beaches 23, Maria Island 21, Low Head, St Helens and the Hearts Mountains all 20, Lyweenie 18, King Island 15. Areas of high and low-level cloud are seen moving over the state, with thunderstorms developing mainly in the south during the afternoon. A large mid to high level cloud band sits just to the west of Tasmania. Significant convective cloud and thunderstorms are evident about eastern parts of the continent, including Tasmania, along with central parts of Australia. A large mid to high level cloud band is over central eastern WA. Tomorrow, a broad trough moves over the mainland, which extends to a weak low over the state. A series of troughs sits over northwestern parts of the country, and a high pressure ridge sits over the eastern seaboard. Taking a look at coastal waters for Thursday, variable winds 5 to 15 knots with southwesterly swells in the west and south increasing to 2 metres. A severe weather warning has been issued for heavy rainfall this evening for the Upper Derwent Valley and parts of the western, southeast, east coast, central plateau and Midlands forecast districts. Tomorrow, Hobart and Cygnet expecting a shower or two, 22. Showers also for New Norfolk, 25. Launceston, a shower or two, 25. Much the same for Devonport, 20. A shower or two also for Campbelltown, 24 is the top. Burnie, partly cloudy, 19. Strawn, a shower or two, 20. Partly cloudy conditions in store for Smithton with 22 degrees. St Helens, showers, 22. A shower or two in Swansea, 21. Also showers for Fingal with 22 degrees. Friday, possible late showers about the west. Saturday, mainly fine about the north. Showers elsewhere, although more frequent in the west. Mainly fine conditions for Sunday, except for the west and far south with possible showers. Further north tomorrow, Darwin 33 with possible storms. Similar conditions for Canberra 23. Brisbane mostly sunny 27. Sunny also in the city of Churches, chasing a top of 29 degrees. Currently in Hobart, it's cloudy with 17. Bit of cloud hanging around Launceston 21, much the same in Devonport 17. For those in storm-affected areas this evening, please stay safe.
Okay, good advice. Thank you, Kaya. And that is all from the 7 Tasmania newsroom for this evening. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.